Everyone, welcome. I'm Cal Barton. This is the show where we discuss the credit card news every single week. And I just want to say hello to Matt Clausen. Thank you again for um, updating the Discord chat and really getting this out there. Thank you, Matt, for that. Danny Boy, what's up? Miss Barton, F. Davis, Rudy Sarah. They hate me. Yeah, listen, F. Davis. Yes, and hit that like button. If you want to see more streams like this, go and hit the like button so you can see more of that. And we're going to talk about how the Apple exec, a Goldman Sachs executive, one of his biggest regrets is probably initiating that agreement with Apple to start, roll out the Apple Card and the Apple Savings Account, which they rolled out earlier this year. We're going to talk about changes to Amex cards and changes to Chase's cards as well. So let's get into it. So first story. Let's get this off the screen. Let's switch that around. All right. First story, credit card surcharges surge as US business pass costs on to consumers. So last year, US merchants paid a record $160 billion in processing fees to accept 10.6 trillion in card payments, according to the Nielsen report. The bulk of those fees, about 79%, was from credit cards. And many companies' profit margins are narrowing as they get squeezed by higher inflation. That has prompted a growing number of businesses to attempt to pass higher costs onto their customers. They're adding a surcharge or a convenience fee on those who want to swipe their plastic. If you're metal, if you have the nice cars that we do. Payment consultancy TSG reckons between 5 to 10% of 8 million card accepting small businesses in the US now charge fees for credit card usage. Wow. And that is up from 2% 5 years ago, underscoring the growing trend. And so TSG also said about 15% of new merchants who accept card payments have a surcharge policy. So I've heard of this happening. When I lived in New York, at the gas stations, they gave discounts to people that use cash or debit, and they also at some smaller restaurants, a lot of small mom and pop shops are going to probably look to add the surcharge to different transactions. Let me know, where do you see this happening most when you go out and about and you're paying for items and you're paying for services? Where do you notice that these surcharges appear the most? Let me know in the comments. And so next, new Amex data shows AI and other tech impact on business travel. So according to American Express, nearly 70% of companies use AI to manage different aspects of their business trips, such as traveler expenses and last minute itinerary changes. The company is now promoting its own solutions, which include trip specific virtual corporate credit cards. American Express business customers can issue employees trip specific virtual corporate cards configured with the company policies and spending parameters and automatically populated in the traveler's digital wallets. Virtual cards offer greatly uh, greater security, customization, and cash flow for management and provide data to companies on employee spending. Automation sets controls such as spending limits, expiration dates, and allow merchant categories. Next, credit cards. Americans do leave without them, so they leave home without credit cards sometimes. So one thing we know about the future of fintech is the everything is going to be connected, even if intermittently. The Internet of Things, or IoT for short, will be a platform for payments for sure. Even cards. American Express is launching a new card with built-in communications in South Korea, so that customers will never have to leave home without it by accident. In addition to credit card payments and Bluetooth location finding, the KB Kumkin card, Kookmin card will also help you to find your mobile phone with a ringtone through the smart button at the bottom of the card, and gives it an app push notification when disconnecting in case you walk away and forget your card. And the card, which can be charged through wireless charging, seems to me to be an interesting example of what economists refers to as sailing ship effect. So this is interesting. So they seem to combine the concept of a credit card with a device tracker like a Apple Tag, AirTag, or you know, uh, you know, Samsung has their own version as well. Our Tile, for example. So that's interesting. Next, Venmo and Incom team to offer digital gift cards. So payments from firm Incom has teamed up with Venmo to enhance the that company's digital gift card offering. The new feature, dubbed Incom Incentives, offers eligible Venmo customers personalized ways to mark gifting occasions with popular gift card brands directly via the app. Customers can now use Venmo to send and receive digital gift cards for popular consumer brands, with those cards stored on the in-app wallet for future redemption. And so customers can also customize their gifts with a short animation, all right, that comes with digital gift cards to celebrate things like holidays and birthdays, to graduations and weddings. So they're just trying to allow you to. I mean, obviously, this is just like sending money. I feel like you should. I mean, I see that the gift card gives you a little bit of the semblance of some thought. You put some thought into a gift. I mean, that's a major part of giving somebody a gift. But essentially, you're giving somebody money. It's like basically you transferred $50, $100 to them, but it just shows that, okay, I know exactly where you like to spend money at, so I'm going to constrain your purchase to one of your favorite, stores, or one of your favorite locations to eat at. So I don't put much value in that. Do you send digital? Have you ever sent a digital gift card before? I know I never done that before. And next, American Express makes changes to my credit guide and credit secure. I think this is great. I hope more companies move in this direction. More credit card companies do this. So Amex is making changes to my credit guide and credit score secure, and the My Credit Guide will now provide an Experian FICO score, replacing the previous Vantage 3.0 Credit Secure score. And so, starting on November 2nd, uh, it will offer identity theft insurance along with other benefits, but we'll see a price increase from 16.99 to 19.99. Additionally, Credit Secure will provide services such as online privacy manager, social media monitoring, identity theft insurance coverage up to $1 million, and alerts from financial account takeover and dormant account alerts on Experian credit reports. So this is really big because, you know, uh, and I was told even before I got into the credit card game, I remember one of my old coworkers told me that, you got to talk, you got to tell people about how there's different credit scoring models, and you really got to watch out for the proper scoring model that you need to, be paying attention to. That's going to have the most impact on you. And so, if you don't know that the Vantage score is basically the score that all the bureaus got together and created on their own. Very, very few different lenders actually use the Vantage score to judge your credit worthiness. Most lenders, I would say, I'm confident saying about 90%. I mean, it probably is more than that, are going to use your FICO bank card score for credit cards. And now, if you drill down even deeper, most lenders are going to probably be pulling from your Experian FICO score. So they're giving you, Amex is saying they're going to give you the score that most lenders are going to be using to judge you and to approve you for credit cards in particular. This credit worthiness thing, and this is something that this is their bread and butter. This is how they make money, by mitigating risk and figuring out who they're going to allow in the door, and they're going to offer credit to, because this is unsecured. These are like unsecured loans. They got to make sure that they're giving the money to somebody who's going to actually pay it back. And so, what they have to understand is that this is essential to see the correct score, so you have an accurate depiction, you have an accurate idea of your level of credit, so that you don't go into applying for things blindly. So this is great that Amex is doing this. I hope that more issuers do this as well. And so, oh, Uno, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Uno. Appreciate you. You said you're a brilliant creator and convey content in such an intelligent way. I appreciate your preparedness and very polished aura, man. Oh man, thank you. And listen, you delivered exceptional super chat, and like the comment by itself was amazing. So I appreciate that. Definitely. So Next story. 118 Four Season properties added to luxury hotel and resort program. So the Four Seasons hotels and resorts has joined Chase's luxury hotel and resort collection, offering like over 100 properties for booking through the Chase select Chase cards, including the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Cardholders can access perks like $100 property credit, daily breakfast for two, room upgrades if available. I really don't like. Yeah, I've never tested it out for myself, but I really don't like that line if available. Like I want a perk and a benefit to be available anytime I want to use it. I'm gonna be upset if I go to redeem my perk and I don't get what I was promised. I don't even think you should market that, honestly. But early check-in, late checkout, and complimentary Wi-Fi. While booking through this collection may be pricier than other options, the added benefits make it worthwhile, especially the daily breakfast, notably Four Seasons, which lacks its own loyalty program, and so it gains from this partnership. The Chase Sapphire Reserve card also comes with various perks, including a $300 annual travel credit, a DoorDash Dash Pass subscription, Priority Pass Select membership, and reimbursement for global entry or TSA PreCheck application fees. Currently, it offers a generous welcome bonus of 60,000 points. Not as high as it's very, I would not say it's generous because right now it's a pretty average. The sign up bonuses can go up to 100,000 bonus points historically. So 60,000 is not something to really jump up and down about. And then you have a $550 annual fee with that reserve card. Next, the Apple Wallet now shows balances for Discover credit cards. So this is a really like in-depth detail about how the Apple Wallet treats different cards. So the Apple Wallet now allows US Discover card users to view their card balances and transaction history with iOS 17.1 beta 3. This feature, part of the connected cards feature, lets users tap on transactions to access more details in the Discover app or website. Currently, it's exclusive to Discover, but Apple may expand it to other credit card providers. Previously, this functionality was available for UK bank cards. Apple is expected to collaborate with more US banks and credit institutions on this version of iOS. You think this is useful? Is this a useful thing to you, or is this just like a box to check? You really don't really care too much about being able to see your credit card balance. I can definitely see Apple trying to build out basically a hub. It wants to be your hub for banking, and they just recently added early this year. And we're going to talk about it. The Apple Savings Account with a really competitive savings rate, I might add, very competitive savings rate. They're really trying. They're creeping in the door. They opened the door. They got in the door, and now they're just pushing more and more to gain market share in the banking sector. So Apple, that the bank should be shaking right now. All right, big changes for Hilton credit cards. So Hilton's American Express credit cards, including the Hilton Honors American Express Surpass card and the Hilton Honors American Express Aspire card, are undergoing significant changes. While annual fees are increasing, they're accompanied by enhanced perks and boosted welcome offers. So what are those welcome offers? And what are the big changes? So the changes to the Hilton Honors American Express Surpass card include annual fee increase from 150 to $150 from $95. So they basically went up by 55 bucks. Continuation of complimentary gold elite status and the ability to earn diamond elite status with 40,000 annual spending. Introduction of the $200 in Hilton statement credits annually. Addition of a new bonus category earning 4 points per dollar on US online retail purchases. Complimentary national car rental executive status, and a discontinuation of 10 free yearly visits to Priority Pass airport lounges. And so for the next card, Amex is showing us that the annual fee increased from to $550 from 450. So these listen, if history has shown, these fees are going nowhere but up, right? It's kind of like taxes. Taxes are going up every year. Fees are going up for these for these credit cards with Amex specifically. The continuation of Diamond Elite status, and annual free night award, replacement of priority pass membership with up to $200 in annual statement credits towards airfare, addition of the option to earn an extra free night award after spending $30,000 on the card, and inclusion of Clear Plus membership with up to $189 in statement credits, complimentary national car rental executive status, and so automatic cell phone protection benefit for monthly cell phone bill payments. Those are all the things that are being added. Next, Delta walks back some of its lounge access changes. So, Delta Airlines made changes to its loyalty program regarding Sky Club lounge access for American Express cardholders. While they softened uh, some changes based on customer feedback, others remain. So, altered changes were increased annual visit limits for some cardholders. Lounge visits are now counted as day increments, and these things were unchanged, which were some cards will no longer provide lounge access, and basic economy flyers won't receive lounge access effective in 2024. And cardholders will also receive benefits like a head start on elite status and earning medallion qualification dollars from everyday purchases starting next year. And Delta aim to balance customer feedback with these program adjustments. Next, City adds leading hotels of the world as a transfer partner. So, and this is really good to see from City because I feel like I don't see them make big enough changes. We haven't seen them introduce the strata cards. We haven't seen them make huge revamps, to notable cards. And it's interesting because City Bank, I believe, is like the third biggest credit card issuer in the U.S. And I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. Maybe because they're not, the City Custom Cash Card, I'm over the moon about that card. I really like that card, but there's nothing else that they've dropped in recent memory that got me excited. So they don't really get talked about too much. But Citibank has added Leaders Club from lending hotels of the world as a hotel transfer partner to their thank you points. And this partnership enables select Citi credit card holders to transfer points to Leaders Club at a 5 to 1 ratio. Users can redeem these points for stays at over 400 luxury hotels in more than 80 destinations. The program utilizes dynamic pricing, so the points needed for a stay vary. This partnership expands the redemption options for City Thank You Points, offering access to unique luxury hotels not previously available through transferable rewards programs. And next, credit card users paid nearly $164 billion in fees, interest in 2022. So American card holders paid that much last year, up from $120 billion uh, per year between 2018 and 2020. The Federal Reserve has implemented 4 rate hikes in 2023, leading to record high interest rates and climbing balances. The Biden administration aims to crack down on late payment penalties and junk fees, and to minimize credit card fees and interest, cardholders can access or ask their credit card issuers for help, set up auto pay, and avoid surprises by monitoring statements and checking card terms and conditions. So, listen, I remember seeing that and I'm going to be reviewing a card very soon called the Avon card that has really low interest rates. And then credit unions have pretty low interest rates as well. But so, like, if you look at these credit cards that you're signing up for these days, I mean, the Capital One Quicksilver card is showing like a 30 point zero 0.05 30 plus percent APR on it. I mean, it's just insane. These interest rates are going up so high. I believe the average interest rate is somewhere about 25%. So we're way up in those rates now. So if holding debt right now is more expensive than it's ever been. Next, Goldman Sachs exec reportedly regrets Apple savings account. And I believe this is probably in a private meeting, but he said he wants out of this effing thing. So you could just imagine like people just like hurling paper, wiping the monitors off the desk. I mean, they're banging the desk. They are probably hopping mad at how much money they've lost in the consumer banking sector. From all the reports that I've seen, Goldman Sachs really likes to focus in, and their bread and butter has been their commercial and investment side of their business. And this was just testing things out. They rolled out and partnered with GM, and they partnered with Apple on these different consumer card products, and they've been hurt hard. They let so many people in the door with these 600 credit scores, these low FICO scores, uh, you know, using this credit card, and they've taken multi-billion-dollar losses. So they are very upset at the situation that they've landed in. And we saw reports early this year where they were trying to offload the Apple Card to potentially Amex. And so they're probably still in those backroom talks of doing that. So an unnamed Goldman Sachs executive expressed regret over the Apple Savings Account partnership, saying, "We should have never done this thing." This sentiment arose after the high yield savings account launched. Despite initial hype, many Goldman executives reportedly agreed that the foray into consumer lending, including the Apple partnership, has distracted from their core Wall Street business. There were also discussions with the Amex about taking over its credit card deal with Apple, but the status of these talks is unclear. Goldman is also considering letting Apple take more ownership of the collaboration. If the Apple credit card program doesn't improve by next year, Goldman may sell it. So maybe it's on probation, right? Maybe we're seeing the Apple the Apple card on probation. Maybe they're saying, look, so we're going to give it 6 to 8 months. We're going to give it 9 months and see where things are. If it doesn't improve at all, then we're definitely going to sell it for pennies on the dollar. But uh, the Apple card, it's interesting because it seems like Apple has a different game plan, a different long-term goal than Goldman. It seems like Goldman wants like immediate positive, results, and they want profit. And Apple seems to be playing an extremely long game where they want market share. They want as many people holding the Apple Card, so they make a certain small percentage on transactions, so they can take a hit on higher default rates on the Apple Card and give it out to everybody. But if they have, half the country, if they have, you know, hundreds of millions of people making transactions on this card, trillions of dollars per year, and they get a small percentage of each transaction, they're going to make a ton of money from that. They're going to make a ton of money. So they may not be moved strictly by a higher default rate. Maybe, they can make it up on the back end and over time. And obviously, the more market that they can garner, more market share that they can get, they're going to have economies of scale. They're going to have more bargaining power to drive up the fees that they charge these payment processors and these banks when people like you and me transact using Apple Pay. So if they can get more and more people using it over time, they'll drive those fees up, those interchange fees, and eventually they're probably going to have a premium Apple Card. There was discussions about having an Apple Card that was like an Apple Card Prime or Plus. They love that nomenclature. So I could definitely see them doing that down the line. But it seems like that partnership wasn't aligned enough for it to work for Goldman Sachs. And we saw recently that the Apple has started their own finance business. I believe it's called Apple Finance. They have a whole financial division where they can actually function like largely as a bank. I believe they do. They can decide on your credit worthiness. So they're actually doing those type of analytics to that a bank would traditionally do to accept or deny applicants. And so they've actually brought that in house at Apple. So I could definitely see, if they can't sell this product line to Amex, maybe Apple takes on the whole operation themselves and they just continue to expand and that in-house operation at Apple, and they just completely forego going to Amex. What do you guys think? F. Davis, I love the comments here. So F. Davis said Amex will clean up the Apple cards. So let's talk about it. What do you mean by clean it up? Will they improve the features? Will they make it more profitable? Maybe, you know, fix the errors that Goldman Sachs made? Maybe, be more of they'll probably negotiate better terms for the deal structure for on their side. Matt Clausen, thank you for that comment. Yeah, that's a really good insight. Matt Clausen said Apple Finance is growing buy now, pay later play. They just need a bank side. Apple should buy Apple Bank and their assets from Goldman Sachs. Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about their buy now, pay later fee. They just launched that. SoFi, if you're watching, take note on what Apple's doing. They are updating their card and their products like very frequently. When the SoFi, and this is one of my biggest complaints about SoFi. And if I did another video somewhere down the line about my biggest gripes, even though I'm a big SoFi user and that's my main, you know, personal banking hub, I wish that they would update it more. Apple is moving seemingly at light speed, getting these new products out there, competing on all fronts, getting that buy now, pay later feature that all the young people like to use. Apple's doing it. And it's good to see. Kamar said Apple needs to just buy a bank. Now, listen, I think Apple is trying to like become a bank on their own, but I definitely see that strategy. Sometimes they do buy, sometimes they work it out in house. F. Davis said they have to have a baseline credit score of 680. Man, listen, this is actually. Do you work for a bank of some sort? Because this is really a great insight because 680 is typically that minimum. A lot of Chase cards, you know, uh, is going to be their minimum. A lot of cards use that as kind of their requirement for for most people, unless you have other factors that make you more fundable, more lendable, like higher income or maybe a thick, well aged and seasoned credit profile. Having a minimum of 680 is typically where they want to see you. There's very few unsecured cards that are going to offer you a considerable amount of credit if you're below that 680 score. Santos said the Apple Wallet is very useful. Yeah, what do you I'm curious because I personally I'm on Android, but what do you like about the Apple Wallet? How do you use it? Why is it, a go-to for you? What are some of the main benefits that you really like about that the Apple Wallet? Nino, welcome back, sir. Welcome back, Nino. So Nino says, I will raise minimum 700 credit score for the Apple Card to get approved. So that would be a quick fix. Raise it up to 700. Eliminate all the undesirable, for lack of a better term, applicants. That was one of the things that I really uh, I defended the Apple Card. Even though I didn't have one, a lot of people, so many people had discouraging things to say about the Apple Card. But the thing that really redeemed it for me was the fact that they let people with fair credit in the door. They made it more accessible. That's why I felt like it wasn't directly a competitor to these higher level cars. I thought, man, everybody's missing the point. Listen, I tell my wife all the time that that's why there's so much space on YouTube because there's so many opinions, and you guys are voicing this in the comment section. There's so many opinions that are not being said, even though we have so many people on the platform. There's still so many opinions out there, and I saw this missed every time from my point of view. The Apple Card is just it should be more compared to a Discover It card or to some, a few other, maybe a Quicksilver card that are known credit cards that are accepting of people, with a 640 or a 630. Those cards are on another playing field. Obviously, they're not going to have all the benefits that a Chase card is going to have because a lot of people can't get approved for those. DJ Bruce Wayne, listen, you got a new profile pic, DJ. I see that. So you said ease of use is the key. Make it a World Mastercard with a higher limit and a stricter threshold to get approved. $10,000 minimum limit. Oh my goodness. 10,000 minimum? That's like a Visa Infinite card right there. Listen, I love a higher limit card, but the problem is with that, with those higher limit card. Well, in this case, if you want to restrict people, make them qualify for a higher limit because that's going to require what? A higher income to get approved for that because they're just not going to lend 10K to somebody making $30,000 a year. And most of the time, you might find some outliers out there where people do get really high limits with a lower income. But and let me know in the comment section right now. I'm curious. Does anybody have currently a really high limit card with with a lower yearly income? If you want to let us know in the comments, I'd just be interested in seeing what your data points are. Cheryl, hope you're having a great weekend. Cheryl says, I use Apple Pay for most things that I do throughout the day. Okay. Listen, it's nice to just be able to, use your phone. Boom. Use your phone, tap and pay. You always have it with you. I mean, we're all checking our phone like throughout the day. And so sometimes you might forget your wallet, but at least you have another form of payment. The only problem with Apple Pay right now is that it does not work at some of these big box stores, Walmart. It does not work at Costco, I believe. I believe it does not work at Costco. I'm not sure about Sam's Club. So I frequent these stores. I'm sure you do as well. That's they need to work something out with these major retailers that are really like long-standing holdouts so that we can truly use these at all the large retailers. Oh man, this is funny right here. Nino says that way you have Capital One, or that's why you have Capital One and Synchrony Bank for subpar desirables. Yeah. Listen, Capital One is known as a subprime lender. Synchrony Bank, I think, I have not seen them be, uh, you know, labeled as subprime, but they are known for their co-branded store cards. I think Synchrony Bank has their lane. The co-branded store cards, they have a lot of and Nino, I know you have the Verizon card. I'm actually going to pull that out of the the sock drawer, and I'm gonna be using my Verizon Visa card that is issued by Synchrony Bank for all of my dining, like when I go to restaurants, because it gets that 4% on dining purchases, and it's a metal card. I'm gonna start using it for that purpose. I'm gonna put that right back in my wallet using that Synchrony backed Verizon Visa card. Synchrony has its lane though. They have a bunch of cards in their lineup that are very useful. I talked about this in my newsletter, guys. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, go ahead and check that in the pinned comment, and you can also get access to the you. And I added to this list the 52 credit cards that you can get pre-approved for. Massive list. I'll be updating it as I find new pre-approved cards. Definitely check that out in the pinned comment. But you also get access to my weekly newsletter. I discussed this in my newsletter. I use the Venmo Visa credit card at all my big box stores. So Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Costco. You get 3% cash back in your top spending category. It treats those big box store purchases that are traditionally coded as uh, as I forget exactly how they're coded as some form of super center. Okay. But with the Venmo Visa, those are coded as grocery stores. So you still get to earn a elevated bonus rate with that. So I'm able to earn unlimited 3% cash back in all of those stores, and that's a lot of my grocery store purchases. So definitely check that out if you want to get access to it. That's actually a Synchrony issue card as well. All right, this is good to hear. Let's see. Cheryl says, I don't go to big box stores. Really, Cheryl? So that's interesting. So you go to like mom and pop smaller stores, Whole Foods, maybe. Maybe you're like a super clean eater. Maybe you go into Whole Foods. If you're out in LA, what's that super expensive store in LA? It's called like Earwong or Earlong. I listen, I'm not from there, so I might get it wrong here. Earway, you pay like $20 for a bottle of water. Uno says, Credit One is most definitely subprime more than Synchrony. Yeah, Credit One, listen, Credit One is terrible. Obviously, I've never even reviewed a Credit One card. I remember Credit One, and maybe I might not even, I shouldn't be saying this, but behind the scenes, Credit One definitely wanted to market some of their cards. I'm like, listen, nobody likes what they're doing over there. And it makes it worse that they kind of copied Capital One with their name. They should have chose something different, but they have like an annual fee with all their cars. They should really start, maybe it's working for them, but I don't think any of you guys are interested in Credit One. Danny Boy corrected me. Irwan. Okay. Irwan. Thank you for the correction. I believe now, if we're talking about Credit One's terrible. But when I was in my early 20s, many years ago, completely different era. Now I had a Credit One card. Don't you know that was one of my first cards? I had no idea, and I believe Credit One does a good job of mailing pre-approvals to just about everybody with a pulse. If you're breathing, Credit One's gonna send you a mailer with your pre-approved. And I believe there was a $49 annual fee, something like that. I think they gave me like $250 of a credit limit. And I didn't know any better. I was just a layperson. I was just a regular human being out here, didn't care about credit. And I remember I don't even think I paid the bill on that, honestly. And I remember getting 1 year's worth of annual fees, and I just forgot about it. So definitely a big mistake. Credit One could, you definitely want to do your own research and start getting into YouTube and into the forums and learning about these credit cards, because there's thousands of different credit cards, and you really got to learn to look past those really bad offers. Una says, "Yeah, you came to the light." Yes, I did come to the light. Like many years later, though, I remember working at one of my old jobs, and a coworker had a Discover It card. I remember he told me they put all his purchases on that, and I remember at the time, I really didn't pay attention to it. I was like, I don't really care about that. I just heard it in passing, but now it means so much more to me because I knew that he was on the right path. He was doing the right thing, and I never forget. That was one of my first kind of one of my first discussions, brief discussions about the different credit card products that are out there that I take advantage of now. I really enjoy using. So, guys, I just recall. So, if you haven't yet, go ahead and like the stream. I welcome anybody that's here new. Like this stream if you want to see more videos and live streams just like this. You want to participate. I'm thinking about moving the live stream from Sunday to some time during the week, like a Tuesday or Wednesday. What works? What do you think I should move the stream to, Tuesday evening or Wednesday evening? What would you prefer? I'm just trying to get an idea. Danny said Sundays. I hear you, Danny. Danny said Sundays. Listen, Sunday, you know, it is a good day, honestly. But I'm trying to figure out a better schedule just for life. Everybody is freed up on the weekend. So just to make things easier and to make sure that I can hit the live stream on schedule more often. I've been doing it pretty much every week, but to be able to do this without question more often on a day that nothing is happening, usually everybody's going to work the next day, would be nice. All right, I see a lot of Wednesdays. Uno said Wednesday. Santos said Sun. I like Sun. Listen, Sundays is good. Chevy said Wednesday. Kamar said Sunday. Okay, Sunday is chill. Is my chill day. Okay, Wednesday. Okay, Dark Dude. Thank you for coming in. Saying Wednesday. Any day after. Cheryl said any day after 7. Okay, so I'll keep it on the evening. So I'm looking at Wednesday for the most part. Thank you guys for responding. Um, ooh, this is interesting. I want to talk about this real quick. So Saeed said, I don't use my Discover that much because a lot of stores I go to don't take Discover. And Wednesday, I like how you answered as well. So I thought that Discover had kind of closed the gap and was accepted in more stores and at more places now, more merchants. So that's an issue. It seems to still be an issue with Discover. I listen. I know that you can only use Visa cards at Costco, but there's not many places like that. Does anybody else have a problem using their Discover card at places? And F Davis, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you of coming through with the super chat. You said great stream as always. This Apple Goldman Sachs talk was great. All right, good to know. I'm going to try to double back and do some more content around Apple. I know it's a really big subject, the topic. And I know there's some more stuff going on behind the scenes that can be reported on with Apple and their card. There's some drama there we got to uncover. Listen, we got people coming in for Apple's for the Discover cards of defense. He said, Danny says, I live in Cali. Discover is accepted 99% of the time here. Uno says is echoing that sentiment. However, Discover's great cashback for online categories. Also, they are insane with credit limit increases. I've heard that online as well. Now, for me, Discover, I think a 11,500 limit they started me with. Discover seems to be really dependent on usage, so they want to see frequent usage to start approving those credit limit increase requests. But I see a lot of people getting uh, increases with the Discover card. So if you're the reason I think, and I always recommend Discover for people newer to credit, just because there's a pathway. I always talk about this, a pathway to success. You can come in on the level of Discover It Secured card with basically no credit. Even if you have, poor credit, most times you'll get approved for that. In 6 months or some time, you'll get graduated into the unsecured Discover It card. And if you use that for your main card, then you could start getting increases on a monthly basis. On a monthly basis, they give you your FICO score. They have the rotating categories. So, and then they double your cash back in the first year. I think it's a no brainer as one of people's like entry level cards. Oh, we have an approval here. We got an approval. Corey Cooley says less than an hour ago, I was approved for an Apple Card and I did not accept it yet. I was on the fence. Thanks for the timely comment or content. Listen, and this is one of the best. This is one of the best reasons why I created that list. In the pinned comment below, definitely check that out. It's free. All you get is access to all the cars that you can be pre-approved for. And so just what Corey was talking about is that he was able to see his limit, get pre-approved, but he said he didn't like what he was seeing. So he's like, I'm gonna take a breather. I'm not gonna accept it yet. And it's up to Corey whether he wants to go in and accept it and then initiate that hard credit pull. But if Corey says, listen, I want to wipe my hands clean of the Apple card, I don't want it, he doesn't have to go any further. He can let it be and no harm, no foul. So that's the good part about that. And Corey, let me know what that limit was. What kind of limit did they offer you? Oh man, thank you for the Dark Dude. Thank you for the super chat, man. Dark Dude said, been on travel, just wanted to show the love. Appreciate you and what you do. Well done, man. Thank you. And even though you're traveling, you still had time to check in and say what's up. I really appreciate that. All right, Matt Clausen says, I want more issuers to do elevated mobile wallet spend, like the US Bank Altitude Reserves 3x mobile wallet. So powerful. Yeah, I think that I don't see that much. You're right. I don't see mobile wallet. And I think I see another comment from Nino said Discover used to do 5% back in digital wallets. Yeah, it's so powerful because you can pretty much use the mobile wallet at any store. And so if you could basically go cross store, cross category to different merchants and still get that elevated rate. So yeah, that would be nice to see. If another card wanted to really, you know, find more market, more customers, they would offer something like that to distinguish themselves. Yeah. So everybody, thank you for hanging out with me this weekend. So we're going to continue doing this on a weekly basis. Probably on Wednesday, I'll let you know on the community page. And I want everybody to have a great start to your week and have a great night.